I made a video about these films when Grindelwald was coming out.
Oh.
And I think they watched that video and then they took it on board. So back in November of 2016, the cinematic event of the year, Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, came out, and everyone collectively went, "Oh my goodness, wizards, but it's in the 20s, and it's set in America. This is gonna be so rad!" I actually really enjoyed the first Fantastic Beasts movie. It did a pretty good job of setting up this cast of heroic misfits and painting the world of wizards, but in a completely different time. It was really, really great, except for one of the final scenes. You know the one I'm talking about? The one where it turns out the bad guy is this other bad guy that hasn't really been established and we don't care about. All that really happened is we saw one evil white guy with a mohawk transform into a slightly more problematic evil white guy with a mohawk. And this was supposed to set up sequels in which our heroes come to blows with a past version of Voldemort called Gellert Grindelwald. Only no one cares. We don't want this. We do not want it. One movie in and you're already trying to make this whole franchise about connecting dots to the previous very successful movies and setting up the whole origin and rise and fall of some big evil bad guy. So a few days ago, the second Fantastic Beasts movie came out, only it's not called Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Anything. It's called The Crimes of Grindelwald, a Grindelwald movie. You've taken this fantastic cast of misfit heroes that you established in the first one, you know, Newt Scamander, the quiet, awkward magic vet, the big jolly baker muggle man, the quirky but beautiful one from Seattle, and the down-on-her-luck cop who looks like she stepped out of a French fashion magazine. Good job, by the way. That's why you got the award for best costume. And you've made them play second fiddle to a big bad guy that we don't care about, and also Dumbledore now. Dumbledore's in it now, everyone. Congratulations, everyone. It's Dumbledore. I'm so excited for young, sexy Dumbledore. I'm not actually a very big fan of Harry Potter. In fact, I would go as far as to say I don't like Harry Potter. But what frustrates me about Fantastic Beasts is stuff that should frustrate any film lover, regardless of what you like. It's a waste of potential. Here you have this relatively clean slate, this opportunity to make a new franchise of amazing all-ages kids films about wizards. It's set in the 20s, it's set in America, there's going to be lots of fantastic opportunities for cool animals and stuff, but you would rather make a lot of money very quickly by telling a story about Wizard Hitler. I was talking about this very passionately with someone the other day, and just off the dome, I wrote treatments for two sequels to Fantastic Beasts, which would be better than Grindelwald. Then that person was like, "You should make a video about that." And I was like, okay, so here it is. Fantastic Beasts 2. Danger at the games. Danger at the Wizard Games. Get this, it's the Triwizard Tournament, only it's the 20s. It's what the Triwizard Tournament would have looked like in the 20s, everyone. And hey, Newt Scamander, the world's leading magizoologist, is hired by the committee for the Triwizard Tournament to oversee all of the stuff that involves animals. And he's there with his funny muggle cocaine friend from Take Me Out Tonight, and the big schools are there, the Americans are there, and they sing the national anthem. And the British Hogwarts boys are there, and we're like, oh, look at the Hogwarts uniforms. Aren't they different in the 20s? And the third one's there, the other school, I can't remember who takes part in the Triwizard Tournament. They're all there. There's some interaction with the students. We see some of them are fleshed out more than others. It's great. Ooh, but dark plans are afoot, everyone. Somebody's put a hex on some of the animals. They've cast an evil spell or hypnotized or something. They've sprayed some magic pheromones in the cages of the griffins or whatever. They're mind controlling some of the animals. We'll figure that out. We'll workshop that later. Anyway, somebody's done something to the animals. They've been interfered with. They're trying to fix the games because they've got a big bet riding on it, right? Because it's the 20s. It's the 20s. It's America. It's America in the 20s. They're going to place bets on the Triwizard Tournament. They're going to try and rig the Triwizard Tournament by doping the animals. They're going to dope the animals to make money. And Newt Scamander, being the fantastic magic vet he is, he walks and talks with the animals. He understands their language and he pets them and he feels that something's off. He touches the snout of the griffin or whatever and he's like, oh no, this one's sad or something. But the Triwizard Tournament's already started. It's already underway, people. The students are in and they can't get out. You can't stop the games when they're halfway through. Remember the Triwizards in the previous ones when Edward Cullen died and became a vampire? So to get to the animals and to protect the young wizards from danger, they themselves have to go into the Triwizard Tournament. They have to enter the danger rooms. They have to get to the animals in situ. So they're forced as adults to kind of take part in the Triwizard Tournament against the committee's wishes, of course. The committee don't want them anywhere in there. But they got to, because they got to save the animals and the wizards. The committee's like, nah, mate, you can't go in there. But they're like, we're going to do it anyway. And then they do. And maybe along the way they meet some students and stuff. And maybe there's one particular student, he's like the nerd of the class and he's not got that many friends, but he's, you know, she's all that kind of sexy when you take the glasses off. You know, they've done the casting right. And maybe he has a little micro redemption arc himself where he's like a coward at first, but then he finds some self-confidence and he ends up saving them at one point. That, you know, it writes itself. Meanwhile, outside the games, the committee are dealing with the mafiosos or whatever who are running the, like, betting ring, and the person or people who are responsible for tampering with the animals, maybe they step forward, you know, maybe they didn't want anyone to get hurt. They just needed the money real bad. They were in dire straits. Maybe they have like a dying child or something. They needed the money. The point is, it's gray. It's levels of gray. They're just not like a totally evil Hitler type character. They're human. They have human motivations, and maybe once they see that young wizards are in danger, they step forward and they start helping the team. They save the students. They have some big awesome set pieces. The people who do the illegal gambling or whatever, they go to wizard jail. Newt Scamander and his friends have saved the Triwizard Tournament, and the nerdy one gets like meets the boy or girl of his dreams. On to the next one. It's a heist movie. Fantastic Beasts 3. It's the showdown at the fair of a lifetime. Fair. It's still the 20s and it's still wizards. Guess what happens in America in the 20s? The World's Fair, everyone. It's a World's Fair. Trade expos with all the big major companies and innovators coming together to share their knowledge and show off their inventions and show off their marvelous new technology. That's gonna happen, but it's wizards. It's a wizard one. What do wizards invent? What are wizard companies like? Who are the movers and shakers of the wizard business world? But there's one invention shrouded in mystery. Nobody knows how it works or exactly what it does. But everyone's very, very excited. Nobody knows exactly how this machine works, but it's going to change the wizarding and muggle world forever. But here's the thing. The way it works is it uses a creature, it uses an animal, right? It harnesses the life force, it harnesses the very spirit energy of the animal itself, of this poor mythic innocent beast is locked up in like a generator, they're turned into like a magical battery, a living magic battery. Newt Scamander and his funny baker friend, they're just having a lovely time at the World's Fair. They're walking around, they're seeing the sights. They're like, ooh, this is cool, that might change things, or I might get that magic hoover. And they stumble across this, right? The pièce de résistance. And they're like, ooh, I wonder how it works. And Chef Boy is trying to wrap his head around it. And then Newt Scamander has a brainwave, you see? He has a brainwave because he's the world's greatest magizoologist. He's read every book and he's written quite a few of them. And he recognizes that the thing this invention is doing could only be achieved by one mythic beast. He's never seen them, and he thought maybe they were long extinct, but he believes that this device could only exist with the power of this one beast. Of course, he takes his theory to his favorite cop friend, and she's very sympathetic. She wants to take it up the ladder. They're not having any of it, man. You're not going to be disrupting the trade fair with your wild, crazy nonsense. No conspiracies here, okay? The guy who invented this, he's the biggest wizard capitalist there is. You know how much he controls? He's Wizard Rand, and he's Wizard Skynet, and he's Wizard Monsanto combined. You don't mess with this guy. So we're not having any of your silly conspiracies around here, Mr. Scamander. You get out of here, you just enjoy the trade show. but he can't sleep, he can't put it down, he can't stop thinking about the possibility that this invention out here is hurting a creature. It's tapping into the very soul of what he does, and he just can't let it lie. So they hatch a plan. They get the team back together. New Scamander, the chef, the quirky one, the French lady, they're all back in business, and they're gonna do a heist. They've got to sneak into the trade fair after hours. They've got to get around all of the cool wizard security. What does wizard security look like? Who knows? Let's explore that, people. They have to break the thing apart. In order to get it, they have to break the device apart, and they can say stuff about, you know, the cost of human innovation, and make some kind of awkward moral point about the, you know, being responsible. But they finally do it. They break the thing apart. They get the animal out. They get the animal to safety. And they expose the inventor man, the wizard Tony Stark, Wizard Rand. He goes to jail. He goes to jail for being a big bad capitalist and not thinking about the rights and welfare of the poor wizard animal. And then the last scene is maybe Newt Scamander is like letting it free, you know, putting it in a sanctuary somewhere. And maybe, like, you know, Dumbledore makes a small appearance, you know, we can fan service him a little bit, you know. This is my son Hagrid. He's gonna look after him now. Good job. Fantastic. Great. And it didn't obscure the actual telling of a good story. Not convinced by the heist movie? Hey, I've got a cherry for you. I've got something that's going to change everything, right? Because what's the invention? I haven't answered the pivotal question. What makes this invention so special? What is it? It's an anti-magic field generator. It's a muggle field. It makes a muggle bubble. Anyone inside it can't do magic. Magic can't go inside it. Magic can't penetrate it, and anyone inside it stripped of their magical powers. So think about this. Think about action sequences happening involving this. They're on the outside, they're doing wizardy pew, 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 pew. They go inside, they gotta punch, punch, punch. They gotta smack each other because they got no magic. And then they're like punch, punch, and then out through the field passes them, and they're like boing, boing, whip. Boing, whip, pew! Somebody fires off a magical blast from their wand. They step back inside the field. It hits the field, it dissipates, timing it just right, and they go outside and they throw a thing, and then they come back in and they dodge something else. Ooh. Dan Fogler, always a muggle, is like, yes, son, now the playing field's even, and he has just some fisticuffs with a bad guy, and he feels like a boss. He feels empowered. Empowered in a world where he feels so powerless so much of the time. But in the muggle field, he is on the same playing field as everyone else. And he does the final blow. Bam! Biff! Boff! Punch! It's going to be so good. It's going to look so good. The visual effects are going to be top notch. Ace. Damn. See how easy it is? See how easy it is to conceptualize a sequel that doesn't rely on fan service and Darth Vader? See how you could actually build a new cast of characters and tell new stories instead of revisiting old ones. Those movies will never get made. I'm very sorry if that makes you sad. It definitely makes me very sad. If you're watching, Warner Bros, Rowling, give me a call. JK.